Well, then you and I have to eat it because not only when you eat it and you talk, it's fun. I'm Doug with America's Best Restaurants, and we're traveling the country coast to coast to find restaurants that you should dine at on a frequent basis, like the Peddler, right here in Huntington, West Virginia. We're gonna go inside and talk to Drew and Jay, get the skinny on the food and the beer, and why you need to visit here when you come to Huntington. Come with me, let's go check it out. All right, we're back, we're inside. By the way, this is Drew. I introduced him outside. We are in the Peddler. So we've got 4 items that we're gonna talk about. We've got a couple beer, which of course, you guys have beer, so we're gonna talk about beer. We're gonna drink some beer, we're gonna drink some food. It's really a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so much fun. I'm gonna get into the backstory as well, but first and foremost, let's get into the food. Item number 1, what are we looking at, Drew?
So here we have the Hadouken. We make all of our buns, breads, and pretzels from scratch here in-house. So it's a fried chicken sandwich with a spicy slaw, some nice melted cheese, butter pickles, and calamity ranch on it, and as well as truffle fries. So we take a little bit of truffle oil, rosemary, some Parmesan as a little side that we do, and it's all of our fries are fried in duck fat as well. So you have a little bit of extra flavor, nice crispy texture. Traditional cooking method originated in France.
Now that sandwich must be extremely popular because when you put up the post on social media and said, what should we profile? That baby was listed over and over.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Hadouken's been a popular item. You know, we have a lot of fun with the names also because and Hadouken, we named it that because we also have Street Fighter 2 up there, arcade cabinet in the arcade as well.
He's thinking, he's a marketer. Stick with us, you're gonna learn more. Coming up with the concept, let's get into that. How did you come up with the concept and what is the Peddler all about?
So the Peddler is my family long time ago, back in, you know, they used to have a circus in town. Jimmy Hetzer, he's my cousin, and it was really thriving. He used to have a bunch of really talented acts come in, and then, so he was a peddler, and then also Collis B. Huntington, which our city's named after, he was a peddler as well. So we kind of wanted to bring some of that history into the actual restaurant and bring it back to life a little bit. So we have some memorabilia about the circus acts that were in town with posters posted up around. And it's really cool to see people that remember it coming in and seeing those and bringing that back to life. And then just the brewery aspect and having really good specialty gourmet burgers as far as, and also a variety of other menu items.
And the overall decor and the tables here, these are from a bowling alley, right?
Yeah, so we when we opened up, we teamed up with Ack and Pucky, a good friend of mine, Seth Cyphers and Jill Lafier. They're great designers. We found some tables in Columbus from Rainbow Lanes and repurposed them and made them into tables. So we always like to repurpose and use salvageable materials to build with.
That's awesome. Tell you what, cool atmosphere. Come by and check this out. Let's get into item number 2. This is another one. I think this was number 1A on that social post. The Wonton Nachos.
Wonton Nachos have a serious following. We started this kind of flavor profile when we had Wedge. It was a restaurant with Appalachian comfort food. And we used to make it with homemade potato chips with nice seasoning and everything. Then we shut down there, and then when we opened up here, we wanted to recreate that. But instead of potato chips, we wanted to use wontons. They hold up better, texture's amazing. So on this dish, we have a cheese sauce, so we make in-house the beer cheese, sliced jalapenos, cilantro, some pico. Our special seasoning for the chips, it's almost like a sweet barbecue kind of seasoning that we make in-house, pulled pork, and a drizzle of sriracha sour cream. Great flavor profile, great taste, and also definitely not a small portion, so people really enjoy those as well.
That is ridiculous.
Thanks.
I can see why that was number. Yeah, yes, I'm continuing to eat. I'm gonna munch on these things while we go. Let's do a cheers.
Cheers.
We have beer, so we need to. So when it comes to the menu, I'm always fascinated on how these things come about. Your backstory, you basically got into this and like, what, you were like 8 years old, your mom was a waitress, you were at the restaurant. You said that you ate like all the little like fruits and stuff off the bar. And
Yeah.
It was kind of like you were just munching around. Do you pull from the history of that to come up with these items? Is it collaborative? What do you do?
There's some history there, especially over at Backyard, which we'll get to that. There's some menu items that we are nostalgic in the flavors and stuff, but the overall atmosphere and the culture of the restaurant industry has always been really close to me since I was a kid, because ever since growing up, my mom would wait tables. We'd be at the restaurant with her, my sister and I, if she couldn't afford to have a babysitter or couldn't find a babysitter. And her boss was very accommodating, used to let us hang out in his office. And we would also hang out the break room. People would come over that she worked with after work and play games out. We'd play badminton out in the backyard, have cookouts. Just the whole overall culture of the hospitality and food industry is just something that if you don't understand unless you've been in it. And I'm just really glad that we're able to continue that with what we're doing now with the restaurants and have our own two places to.
I love that.
have.
And you're doing so much for the community overall. And it hasn't always been easy. You've dealt with the fire. You've overcome different issues, which so many people in the restaurant space do. And you just keep plugging, man.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
You have to be resilient to be in the restaurant business for sure.
Amen to that. That's a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, so item number 3, I believe this one was listed online as well. So another popular one. What do we have?
This is the Bruce Wayne. It's kind of one of our newest burger creations.
The Bruce Wayne.
It has smoked Gouda cheese, bacon crusted patty, as well as a buffalo truffle oil sauce, some aioli, caramelized onions, and then lettuce. And it's got really good taste, good flavor. It's a lot of fun, because so how we do the bacon is you grind it up and then you slap it on the patty. So when you sear it, it just creates that crusted layer. Then you have all the other flavors that come with it. You can taste a little bit of that truffle, a little bit of heat and tang from the buffalo.
I took too big of a bite.
Pairs perfectly with some nice fresh duck fat fries as well. So
These buns though.
yeah, we have we bake them every day. Our buns from scratch. One good thing about to have a really good burger, you have to have really fresh buns.
Amen. Wow, that's okay. I'm gonna take another huge bite. I cut this in half so Austin can eat.
Yeah, so Austin, the camera guy, needs to try some too.
Everyone asks all the time, does Austin eat? Does Austin this? Because they never see Austin. They always see him work. Austin eats.
I see him running around taking B-roll footage and getting to know our restaurant, running around. So I can understand he has a busy day.
He burns a lot of calories. So
we do have an Appalachian Bandito Mexican lager for Austin to enjoy, to refresh and hydrate. That's very important.
Yeah, so see, we're not just hogging all of this. Austin gets some too. So let's get into one more item here before we're gonna dive in, and we're gonna go talk to Jay and we're gonna find out more about the beer. This baby right here, yet another one that everybody said you gotta try.
Brisket Mac and Cheese in the cast iron skillet. This was kind of inspired from a dish that we had. We used to have really good mac and cheeses at Wedge, Appalachian comfort food restaurant that we had. We had really good barbecue. So we, instead of like elbow macaroni, we really like the cavatappi. It's kind of like a corkscrew noodle. It's awesome flavor, texture's really good. And we make our cheese sauce from scratch. And we do a little bit of Gouda, cheddar cheese, the smoked brisket. Some more sriracha sour cream on top.
You love that sriracha, don't you?
We started with the sriracha in 2012 before it was really, really popular at the original Backyard. And it just turned into something that we put in a lot of our sauces, especially for like fries to dip in and everything too, our aiolis and everything we make in-house.
You know, the thing that impresses me is see a lot of mac and cheese dishes, but they're smaller.
Oh yeah.
That's a big portion, brother.
We have people that, we very rarely see someone finish a whole cast iron pan of the mac and cheese, but they usually take it home. They say, I eat on this for the next few days. So it's definitely best bang for your buck.
You guys don't go skimpy. So I tell you what, we're gonna come back. We've got a couple other things to chat about, but the beer is a big part here. So we're gonna go chat with Jay and get the backstory on the beer side of the Peddler. let's talk about the brews. This is Jay, by the way. He's like head brewski guy. I think that's not really technical, but that's the way that I come up with it. So how did you get started in the brewing of the beer?
I started homebrewing like in the early 90s because it didn't really have anything, like you couldn't buy anything here in West Virginia, just like maybe Anchor Steam, Sierra Nevada, stuff like that. So I started brewing my own, and Drew was actually working at a restaurant, and I like in high school, so I'd met him in high school, and then like as he'd gotten older, like I started like giving him some home brews. He really dug it. Like so down the road after he'd opened Backyard Pizza, he's like, man, I really want to start a brewery and I want you to be involved, and like I think we can do this together. It's gonna be awesome. So that's really how that started. And then so we opened it in 2016 and been rolling ever since.
So what's it like going from brewing at home, where it's kind of basic, to high tech, a very expensive equipment? That's got to be a kind of an evolution.
Definitely intimidating. I went to brew school in 2015 at American Brewers Guild in Vermont. So learn from some world-class brewers. So, you know, I mean, that was my introduction to commercial brewing. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was a bit intimidating at first, but you know, I mean, it comes along with the job like anything else.
And one of the cool things about craft beer is so many different flavors, so many different styles.
Yeah.
And of course, the names are always type crazy, but how do you come up with the different brews? What stays on? What's seasonal? Talk about that step.
Yeah, so we have maybe 9 flagships that we do like year round that people love. And then, so we try to keep at least 9 on. We have 21 taps. So, and then everything else, I just try to like do some seasonal beers, and like, you know, if people come in, I have a very wide variety of different kinds of beers. Like, so hopefully someone can find something that they like, you know, like, you know, IPAs are huge right now, and sours, and, you know, light lagers. So been trying to like do a bunch of different stuff and keep it fresh for people that coming in, like try something new, you know.
So have you ever had anyone come in and go, Jay, I got this great idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you do this? Do you look at them and go, that's a great idea, or do you go, yeah, go away?
That's funny you said that. Like, we actually have a beer called Yotta Do, because like people say, I'll tell you what you ought to do. Like, so we made a beer called Yotta Do. Like, so just sort of, I mean, I love it. Like, people like come in and they want to give their input, and that's cool, you know. I mean, like, sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't, but
yeah, it's like, I tell you what, why don't you just look at these taps?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's cool. So this is the behind the scenes process of the beer. We're gonna go back to Drew, and we've got one more food item that I think you're really gonna find cool, and we'll wrap it up.
Cheers.
So now we talked to Jay, and we've got the backstory on the brewery. So now we get to wrap it up, and we've got just one more thing that you just want to talk about.
We have a little surprise. So not only do we have chemistry going on in the brewery with Jay making up some great concoctions, but we also have liquid nitrogen kettle corn. So we have good chemistry going on inside the restaurant and our kitchen. So we get our kettle corn locally from Old Village Roaster. It's a local coffee shop that's been around for a very long time, and it's great stuff. Then we just want to dip it in liquid nitrogen, see what happens.
Well, then you and I have to eat it, because not only when you eat it and you talk, it's fun. So I would imagine you have grown adults that are acting like little kids.
Oh yeah. Especially at the arcade. That's big. This place is for little kids and big kids.
Dude, that is awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Anyways, if you live in the Huntington area, that corn is so good. This is a place you need to be at daily, weekly, monthly. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need to be here. If you're traveling through Huntington, Marshall University is like right there. You're coming in town, you're driving through, I-64 is right through here. Put this on your GPS, check them out. They got a full listing on americasbestrestaurants.com. They got a website, they got social. Get the skinny, come down and check them out. Also, click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. You'll find out more when more episodes drop. So we're wrapping it up here at the Peddler. One more toast, Drew.
Cheers. Thanks,
Thank you
Doug.
so much. Great food, great popcorn, great beer. This is to you. Come down, check them out. I'm out.
Thank you.